TikTok on the clock. 2 minutes left, folks. Get ready. We're going to get a lot of things to talk about today. I hope you guys are prepared. HHN 31, the last night coming up.
It's Halloween, my minions.
Somebody doesn't join this channel. Chris ain't dropping his HHN 32 house. And no, it's not Chucky.
Chucky, wanna play?
Yeah, okay. Anyways. So, ladies and gentlemen.
Did that work?
Yeah, it did. That's all we needed to know.
Oh, okay.
So, Halloween Horror Nights 31 has officially come to an end. First of all, hey, happy Tuesday evening, everybody. How y'all doing? Yeah, Halloween Horror Nights, Halloween, October, all of that has come to an end in a blink of an eye. And here we are, November 1st, sitting in our garage. Same thing, usual. But, as you guys saw, put a little bit of a little Chucky clip in there. As you guys know, if you guys don't know, Chucky got announced for this upcoming HHN 32. I want to say a few things just off the bat. HHN is so ready for their own event to be done. Universal's so ready for Halloween Horror Nights to be done that they already started putting Christmas promotions, decorations, and everything up, which I get. Don't anybody in the chat coming at me saying, but Brian, they gotta. I understand how this works. But you're telling me if I come to the last weekend of HHN and there are Christmas lights on inside of Universal, in the middle of HHN, there are Christmas tribute signs everywhere, and they're promoting people to buy Christmas things. And then they want to say, hey, Chucky got announced for next year. Does anybody care about the Halloween Horror Nights that's present?
No, they're going to start announcing, 2024 houses.
Yeah, they're going to be getting ready for the next few years. Anyways, hey, everybody, how's it going? Happy Tuesday evening. Hope you guys are doing well. We got a lot to talk about today. Really, we're just going to be scattered. We're going to chat with all of you guys in the live stream here and just go over a couple things. We're going to talk all things HHN 31. We're going to go over everything we can. All the hot takes we can do. We're going to talk about our favorite houses, favorite scare zones, what we didn't like, what we thought we could fix, talk with you guys on what we think should have been done, what you guys think should have been done, or if you guys really loved it, what did you guys love about the event? Then we'll start, of course, like we have to talk about like the official announcement for next year's HHN 32. There's some things in that video that we need to bring to attention, and we'll talk about with you guys too. That's going to be more towards the end. We want to start this segment with HHN 31 in the beginning, and then we'll move on to HHN 32 talk. Wow. I thought we were going to sit here and maybe even talk about some like holiday stuff, but I don't think we have the time for it. I don't. I think it's all
Probably
Halloween
not.
Horror Nights still to this day.
Yeah.
And probably for the next few weeks, we'll probably still be in the HHN train for a little bit. So if you guys didn't get your fair share of Halloween, stick with us. We're still going to get it out there for a little bit as the time is. But anyways, how's everybody doing? I hope you guys are doing well. I know I've said that a couple of times. Just to start off the stream, we had Artemis in the chat way before we even got ready with the 1999 saying, great job on the video shared with a lot of my friends and associates. Artemis, thank you so much. Hey, by the way, if you guys don't know, Artemis is HHN's most popular dolphin in the ocean at the moment right now. Honestly, trending everywhere as we speak. So big shout out Artemis to 1999. I mean, you said great job on the video, so assuming you enjoyed the video, but I hope everybody that's in the live chat right now, if you guys didn't get to see the video, I don't know what you're doing. Go check out the video. And if you don't know what we're talking about, we did a tribute video for this year's HHN 31. I haven't had the time to really do some special stuff for this live stream. I was going to have literally HHN 31, and we were going to put like some other stuff in there. But this last week of HHN was hectic. It was nonstop for us. No sleep, to be honest. Last night was probably the most sleep I've gotten this whole week, it seems like.
Not me.
Yeah, well,
last night was the least amount of
that was probably the least you got.
I'm exhausted.
Yeah, so if you guys didn't know, we did a tribute video. If you guys want to check that out, you get to see Steph shred on the guitar and sing Zombie by the Cranberries.
If you guys play guitar, drums, and we're doing everything completely wrong, don't call us out.
Yeah,
just let it go.
What we're thinking, to be honest, for our members, which I know Chris Dustings, he was throwing this out there. We do appreciate our members supporting our channel and stuff, but we just want to go ahead and say that for our channel members, we are possibly thinking about dropping a blooper-like video for the tribute video that we did, where all the scenes that Steph is doing the guitar and I'm doing the drums, instead of actually hearing the song that's playing in the background by the Cranberries, instead you're going to hear what Steph is actually playing on the guitar.
And the audio from the camera.
Yeah, and what I'm playing on the drums. And
it's awful.
Geez, guys, it's rough. Like it's bad. Like when we got the equipment, and I know
neither of us play any instruments, like any instruments.
No, not at all. Our members, like we were teasing, giving some hints at what was to come, and I didn't want to fully dive into giving you guys more hints in a sense, just in case it didn't happen. Because, like I said, like we ended up getting a full drum kit, full 5-piece drum kit, and we got an electric guitar for Stephanie. And I was like, man, I have this idea. I want to do this. And the video is actually still not even fully complete. There's still a lot of things I want to do with it. But that was a shorter version of the video. I want to put it out for Halloween and say Happy Halloween to everybody. But we got this whole drum kit in a huge box, and I had to assemble it. We got the guitar together, and we started filming here in the garage. And to be honest, I think about 5 minutes after starting the filming of listening to the guitar and like doing the drums, I think we were both like,
what are we doing?
What were we thinking? This is not going to work. And to my surprise, I'm happy with it. Like I said, it's still not complete. There's a lot of things I want to do to the video and post-production, but I'm actually surprised that it looked decent. It looks like Steph was playing the guitar. It looked like I was playing the drums legitimately to the song.
To an untrained eye. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if like somebody who knows how to play would look at that and be like, that's not
I know
right.
We ran into a viewer of the channel, Sebastian, at HHN, and he said, he plays like the guitar and drums. I was like, oh man, we got a video coming out. You just let us know what you think about it. So if you guys haven't seen it, go check it out. We were rocking the guitar and the drums there in that video and stuff. And I think for our members, we're going to do a blooper video probably sometime later this week, or if not early next week, where I'll just take the excerpt from the song out and just put our actual audio of what we were playing in that video. So it's going to be, it's going to probably make your ears bleed, to be honest. So just be prepared for that. Brandon D with a $2 donation. Hey guys, I can't believe HHN is really over. Yeah. I knew this whole time and leading up to this moment, I even said to Steph in July, I thought about creating a video telling everybody to soak it in, soak every single minute in before HHN, because as quickly as the event gets here, it's as quickly as it ends. And sure enough, we were at the event last night, and we stayed till close, and we were just kind of like soaking it all in, and we were just realizing, man, like it just happens in a blink of an eye. It does every single year. and we'll talk more about, our thoughts and feelings, and kind of explain why we thought it was kind of a weird night in a sense for us. But the last hour to hour and a half or so for the event was probably the best time we had in the event, probably since Lily.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. We had some friends in town. We got to hang out with them, and that was a lot of fun. And we had our last hour run through of some things, and I was like, man, like it was finally starting to hit us, but that it's a little too late by then. So I just want to pull that up. Yeah, I can't believe it's over, Brandon. But then as soon as I'm clicking off of him, he pops back in with another $5 donation. Speaking of guitar, I was Eddie Munson for Halloween and learned Master of Puppets.
Wow, that's awesome. You
actually learned
song?
Master of Puppets on the guitar.
That's pretty cool.
Dang, that's awesome. So if you have a guitar, man, I'd love to see a video of that rocking out. That'd be a lot of fun. Maybe Steph could learn how to do.
No.
So we've seen videos of people playing the guitar and some of the drums randomly, like on TikTok and
I used to
Instagram.
play Guitar Hero, if that counts.
And it makes me think like maybe we should just keep the equipment and just learn how to play. And we just start our own band, and we'll host live concerts at HHN and stuff. What do you guys think? Should we host live concerts at HHN?
I think they would kick us out.
No, I mean Universal would want us there. They would sponsor us. I know somebody from Universal is watching right now, and they're like, no, unsubscribe.
Absolutely not.
But Brandon D, thank you so much for the $5 and $2 donation. Truly appreciate it. So, if I may have your computer, because you got the poll on yours.
Go ahead.
I want to ask
look up,
everybody.
Kate was asking how to join as a member from the phone. So I was trying to see if I can look at it on the phone.
Okay. I'm putting a poll up for you guys here in a second. Just give me a moment.
What is the poll?
I'll let you know once you see it. You'd be surprised. All right. There you go. So, place the poll up. I just want to get an answer from you guys and see what y'all think about it. By the way, guys, hey, who's not doing their job and telling me the music? We're at 18 minutes in the live stream, and nobody wanted to mention music to me. Jeez. I literally told my phone 20 seconds before it started. I said, hey, music. Didn't do it.
Every time.
I'm sitting here. Why is it so quiet? I don't have the music playing. That's why. That's on me, guys. That's on me. Let me get this boosted up for you guys. Uno minuto.
I think you have to do the membership. I think you have to do it on a computer. I remember looking at this before, and there's no way to do it from the phone.
Yeah, I think we've had some of our viewers come into that issue of trying to become a member on the phone, and for some reason it just wasn't working. So if you guys have like a laptop or a desktop back at home and you want to join to become a member of the channel, do so on there. All you got to do is go to our main page, and you know what? Here, I can even show you guys here real quick.
You can also pull up YouTube in like the Safari app, and there should be like a button at the very bottom that says like view desktop version or something like that.
Yeah, so as you guys can see, this is the main page of our channel, and that join button that you guys see there, all you got to do is go ahead and click on join, and it's going to pull this up, and it shows 20% off your first month membership still. Promo still applies. That thing's been going on. I think YouTube told us that was only going to be for like the first month. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. It's still on there. So first month looks like $3.99 to start off, and then we have one for Jack's Carnival, $7.99, then the Drag Pack starting at $11.99 for the first month. But yeah, so really, like I said, you guys don't have to do that. That is not a requirement. We're still going to create content and stuff. That's just for the people who want to help us, support us financially, so we can continue to create more videos. Especially with this off season, we have a lot of short films planned out that Steph and I want to do. We're also going to be preparing pretty soon to actually do our countdown to HHN season 2 on Instagram, and I'm going to be preparing for a countdown to HHN season 3 on YouTube in the next 2 months. So we have a lot of things we're already getting wrapped in and getting filmed. We're getting some locations set up, some big projects headed in, And for our members specifically, you know, we're able to shoot them like quick little messages and stuff to get them in the know, just so they can see like behind the scenes stuff and some more exclusive things, just because they've helped us financially to be able to do that. So we want to give them a little bit of appreciation by showing some extra clips here and there that they get to see exclusively, is the word. But our viewers on YouTube, you guys, of course, like I said, you guys don't have to become a member of the channel. You guys can just be a member or just a viewer. I need like cooler words to use. Member, viewer. I feel like that's so basic, but like the viewer channel, we're still going to be creating tons of videos and stuff, and you guys will always get to see the content we do create. But our members will get the first exclusive access to things. So just putting that out there. But the poll, how's the poll doing right now?
88% yes, 11% no.
Okay, I would like to know. So in the poll, we asked HHN 31. Did it rock? Yes or no? So far, 88% of people who voted said yes, and 11% said no. 11 to 12%. Why did it rock for you guys that enjoyed it, and why did it not for you guys that didn't? This is gonna be a long live stream, guys. I think we're trying to push to go up to possibly an hour and a half to 2 hours because we have a lot to talk about. But I want you guys to start writing in the live chat. What did you guys like about this year's event, HHN? If you guys enjoyed it, if you didn't, what didn't you like? And then we're gonna go off there, read a couple of y'all's comments. We'll try to get into that, and then we'll pretty much on the side we'll talk about what we thought. Which, to start off first, it's not a live stream without old Jim Bean Daniels coming in with "Wish we could roll the time back. Was blown away by your last video." Jim Daniels with a $50 donation. I don't think this guy drops anything less than 50. Jim, thank you so much for the $50. We appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoyed the video. We wanted to do something different, right? I can't do the same thing like twice. I get bored of it. So I was like, hey man, we did a tribute video last year. I want to do one this year. I want you to perform it and stuff.
And I was like,
Steph was like, no. So that took a lot of convincing. But in my opinion, I think Stephanie made that video. Like, truthfully. I know you don't give yourself enough credit. I think Stephanie looked really good in the video. I think she sold it with the guitar and the singing. Like, Steph had the hardest job in that entire video. And I think she performed very well and made that video to be what it is. You know, I look at it, I'm happy with it. So, big props to you. Love you. You did great.
Thank you.
So, but yeah, that $50 goes to Stephanie.
Okay.
That's all you.
I'll give it to Hondo.
Yeah. By the way, guys, if you guys didn't know, Hondo is here. But Jim Daniels with $50 donation. Appreciate it as always, my man.
We have a lot of people saying like why they liked it, why they didn't. I agree with what Elizabeth said. HHN is like pizza. Even when it's bad, it's still good. I agree with that. It's like I'd rather there be like a not good event and go to it than no event at all.
Yeah, I mean, we've obviously had that in 2020.
We don't love to get into the mindset of like we'll take anything because we don't want like to become complacent and then allow them to like go downhill, kind of like what Disney is doing with like the prices, and like people are still paying the ridiculous prices, so they're gonna keep raising them because people keep paying them. But I do agree, like with HHN, it's like we're still gonna enjoy it no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, just like Steph said, not having an HHN obviously sucks. That's the worst case scenario. Having a bad year at HHN is better than no year. However, though, we can't, like, I hate the mindset of just being like, well, at least we have it. Like, I get that. But if we continue to just have that mindset and stuff, there's no room for progression, in a sense. There's no standard level. And with companies like Universal and Disney and stuff, you know, they're like one of a very few. So if they find something that's working with a lot of people, but over time, like, they just stick to it and people are like, oh, you know, we want more, or this was lacking and stuff. But on the same side, if us, the people, right, we're just kind of like, yeah, you know what, it's, at least we have it. It's fine. It's whatever. Then they're gonna be like, okay, cool. Then we'll just keep doing that. You know, you gotta keep staying on them. And I'm sure they're always going to do the best that they can, but we want them to nonstop try to push the boundaries every single year.
Yeah, I do think the houses were a little lacking this year. It was like, I feel like in past years, like it's been like there's one or two that are like not. What are you doing?
I'm pointing at 29 votes, HHN 29. It's a sign.
Yeah. I feel like in past years, there's been like decent houses, like the best houses, and then like one or two that are just like not good. And I feel like this year it's like 4 that are like not good, and then like the rest are like decent. And then there was like maybe 1 or 2 that were like really good, but it really depended on the night, because there were so many nights we went through certain houses, and even like Legends, which was our favorite, there were some nights we went through and they just weren't staffed, so it was like not great, you know. Are you listening or reading comments?
I'm sorry. You got the mic right now. I'm just putting all of our members' comments up.
Yeah, I just feel like the houses weren't amazing this year. I liked the scare zones for the most part, but yeah, houses were not. They were a little weak.
Hey, Chris Dusting said he's jetting out. And he knows the channel isn't the same without him. So I think I should just turn the music and the lights off, and that's it.
Bye, guys.
Yeah, bye. Chris! All right, so long, man. Thanks for joining us early, though. Appreciate it. Yeah, no, I agree. So the houses, to me, like, this event still didn't feel complete. Of course, you didn't have the Shrek building there, so that area was just funky. Monsters Cafe wasn't there, and it's just like walled off area. So that whole section, like, kind of just felt weird. And that was the most full side of the park. If you really think about it, if you go from, like, I think I've said this before, Conjure the Dark, straight down to where Scarecrow is, everything on the left side of the park is full of everything. And then on the right side, you have nothing but like 2 houses, the show, and then maybe the roaming chainsaw lord. So it just, like, once you get back in that area, and I think somebody did mention that earlier in the chat too, once you do get back there, it's kind of like
Empty.
It feels empty. I feel like HHN needs to find a way to spread the atmosphere throughout the whole park, and it doesn't. And like, what I mean by the atmosphere, when you're there, you feel that like you're at HHN, obviously. I don't mean to have scare actors throughout the entire park. You got to have some breaks in there, some safe zones, like London being a safe zone and stuff like that. However, I feel like the theming, like as in decorations and stuff, should really try to carry out through the whole park. So wherever you're at, there's always something Halloween related or HHN related in that area.
Yeah, even just like lighting.
Yeah.
I feel like there were so many areas this year where it was just like nothing.
Yeah, there was a lot
like
of
the
nothing.
whole Shrek alley, like all of Shrek Alley,
leading to Transformers and
then where like Case Files was last year, before you get to Graveyard, that whole area just felt really like empty and dark.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Just felt weird.
There are some weird vibes about it. The houses weren't. You see, this is the weird thing about HHN 31. Like, we enjoyed it. You know, we were happy to be able to, go to the event a lot and see there was some really good stuff. There was. But there were also some things I felt like they missed out on. And
I think we just had also really high expectations, and then
yeah, I mean, we do.
It's like, oh, it was good, but it didn't meet our expectations.
I mean, we do have high expectations. I just think from terms of, like, you look at the houses, right? The way I think that HHN fans look at HHN is the sense is like, we look at houses, you look at scare zones, the shows, the food, and then overall, what was the event, right? And I feel like the houses, it's like, man, there were some really good and there were some that were really lacking. So the houses, it's like, oh man, take your pick. Maybe a handful of these I would take. Scare zones were phenomenal. I feel like the scare zones is what really made this year something special. So the scare zones were amazing. Graveyard, our absolute favorite scare zone this year. Scarecrow was a close second.
Which won Street of the Year. Yeah,
Graveyard won Street of the Year. And then our favorite house was Legends Collide. That also won House of the Year. Which big shout out to those casts and to anybody at HHN, really. Yeah. And then, you get the food and the shows. But I just feel like in each of those categories, there's a couple of good things, but there's also a couple of negative things. And because of that, I felt like the whole event just kind of fell flat. Great idea. I just felt like the execution wasn't fully there, especially with the storyline.
It also just felt, and I don't know if we're just like desensitized to it, but it felt really hard to get like any really good scares this year. Like there were nights where we would go through multiple houses and I didn't get like even a startle. So
Yeah.
I just feel like it also needs to be a little bit scarier. I don't know if it was just like the theme for this year or what, but I just felt, or if like I'm just desensitized, but I felt like this year, like it just wasn't scary, like really at all. And like I said, that could just be because we worked it and I
hold that thought, because that's actually something I want to dive in. Real quick, Jim Daniels with the $20 can't leave Hondo out. Hey, Hondo.
He appreciates it.
Jim just gave you $20 to give you a new toy. He honestly like doesn't like when we do these, because he's just like, I have to sit here and lay down and wait. We brought him here and we're just letting him lay down until the end. We'll show you guys him. We don't want to get him all revved up.
Yeah, because then he'll walk over the cords and
I know, and then maybe knock the camera. You know how Hondo is, guys. But Jim Daniels, $20. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. And then Artemis, the dolphin,
trying to show up Jim Daniels here.
$49.99 with the super sticker. See, I'm on this program. I don't
Yeah,
get to
you
see
can
what the
see it.
sticker is.
It's like a
Like a cheerleader
with a heart.
Oh,
It's cute.
nice. Thank you. I can't reenact that. I'm sorry. I'm not jumping.
Don't try.
But Artemis with the $49.99. Thank you, guys. Hey, you guys don't have to send us any more donations.
So
Appreciate it. But I want to dive into what you were saying real quick with
Okay.
it being not scary. Something that's very interesting with this year was I caught ourselves realizing back in August, we were really excited for this year because the All Hallows Eve boutique store in Highlands opened up and it was all like classic, traditional, vintage Halloween, like the holiday, right? And we were like stoked, like, man, this is gonna be like a cute year. It's gonna look nice. It's gonna feel like it used to in our childhood, I guess. We also we knew like the Pumpkin Lord was gonna be the icon. We started seeing like the decor, Little Boo was coming in, Wicked Growth was gonna kind of have this effect on the event, and we were all there for it. And we always question like, how are they gonna make it scary? You know, how is a traditional vintage Halloween gonna be technically scary? And there are plenty of ways they could have done it, and I felt like they just didn't fully commit to it. It felt like they kind of went half and half in all areas to where it just felt flat. So HHN doesn't have to be scary, and like Steph's saying, like we've been to the event so many times on both aspects, from being a scare actor as well as just going as guest. And maybe, we're desensitized, as probably a lot of you guys are as well, to the event, but I still feel like there's an element in there that they could add to really just make it scary. And it doesn't have to be where like, oh my God, I can't do it, it's too scary. It's just like, man, like there was a lot of jump scares that got me. It's like the atmosphere felt like I was a little uneasy here and there. It didn't feel like that.
It just felt like there were no houses that had that like dark, gritty feeling other than like Descendants. I feel like Descendants was the only one.
Aloha Jacks. The crowds were the scariest thing this year.
Yeah, honestly.
Dead serious.
Well, someone said, Jim said, can you explain why they make it so hard to get food? I agree with that too. This year was ridiculous. There were so many nights where like we were doing a food video or even just wanted to get food when we were there, and we ended up just being like, never mind, we're not getting food because it's going to take an hour to wait in this line. But what was I saying? I felt like there were like, okay, so in past years, there would be like, most of the houses were like somewhat scary. Obviously not, like Brian said, like not like, I don't want to go in scary, but somewhat scary. And then there would be like one or two houses that were like not scary at all. They were just like the fun houses, like Ghostbusters and even Stranger Things that year was like, the first year was like not really scary. And I feel like this year, all of them were like that.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, we need some houses that are like actually scary. I felt like Descendants was a little bit.
Yeah, Descendants
like
has an
that.
edge to it.
And then
Blumhouse
the
had an
black
edge.
phone section of Blumhouse, but not the freaky section.
Yeah. So
I felt like Halloween, and it was so dependent on when you went, that it made it a little like, that also kind of sucked because it was like you wait in such a long line to go through a house, and like you could go through a house and go through like 3 or 4 consecutive rooms with no scare actors, or go through those rooms and the scare actors are like,
Yeah.
and it just really was so, this year it was so like every house was hit or miss.
Mhm.
There were like, I would say Legends was the only house that
Legends was
good
probably
every time.
the most consistent with being good. But we've had, I think, one night where we went through Legends, and you could tell like everybody was tired, and that was the vibe of the house, right? And I think that's what you mean possibly is in certain houses you go through, even though the scare actors are there, like the vibe in the house where it's like everybody's tired.
And I don't think that it's the scare actors' fault necessarily.
No.
They used to, September was 1 a.m. closes. This year they were like 2 a.m. closes every single night. And then you go through and the scare actors are all like...
Yeah, I mean, they're going 40 plus nights, 6 p.m. till 2 a.m. nonstop. Like we've done that, and it is a lot. It is a lot. And some of these people have other jobs as well. I remember
Kids.
for the months of September and October when I scare acted, I worked 6 a.m. to 4 a.m. every single day those September, October for when I performed. And I look back at it now and I'm like, how did I do that? And I think a lot of it's adrenaline, but I remember there's moments in there as you're going through the motion, you're like, dang man, like I am just worn out. And you look at the times like it's 9 o'clock. I still have like 5 hours.
Yeah. So I honestly would.
Props to the scare actors.
Yeah.
We never will ever.
That's why I said
it's
not them. I think it's partly casting. They were trying to do some different things this year with casting, it seemed like. And then with it being 2 a.m. closes every night, like that is rough. 1 hour doesn't seem like it would make a difference, but it really does.
It does. Yeah, it does.
And I just feel like I would rather have September all be 1 a.m. closes and not have, as long of hours on like for September, and have like the scare actors have like a high morale throughout the whole event.
Yeah, it's hard to talk about it because really Steph doesn't know the answer to this. I don't know the answer. Neither does Universal. It just depends, like it varies because
Stretching.
because like even like I was actually excited that every night was 2 a.m. but it did feel exhausting. And I honestly would just say like the slow season's it's gone. It doesn't exist in the theme parks anymore.
Sucks.
Not even HHN related. I'm talking like just the theme parks. There used to be like a slow season for the parks. It seems like that is gone, and now it feels like that has trickled into the events as well, where HHN just really didn't have any slow nights. I think there might have been, and I'm not including like the hurricane type days. I'm talking about just like normal HHN scheduled days. I think there might have been like 4 days of the entire run through that was like decently low from crowd perspective.
And even the added nights, not the Tuesday, but the like Monday added night, we didn't go, but we heard it was like slammed, ridiculous, like one of the worst nights. And that used to be like in years past, the added nights were like empty,
dead.
Dead.
Even Halloween night used to be dead. And we went last night. There's a time period where it was just slammed.
Not a thing anymore. It's
too washed out, I guess to say.
Yeah. We know it's a great event, but everybody stop going.
Yeah. Also, is the lighting on Stephanie a little dark, by the way, guys? Like, I don't know if that thing just like moved or what. Steph's a little dark. Jim Daniels also said Sir Henry's, and this has been on the screen for a while. Sir Henry's was scary as hell. They know how to scare people. I feel like, events that are not like HHN are a little bit more raw, but I wanted to bring this up because I feel like their purpose is they're really trying to scare you, where I feel like HHN, like they want to scare you, but I feel like they're going heavy on the production and quality, which is a great thing, but I feel like they're getting a little too theatrical with it. They're having too much show elements in a sense. I feel like they need to have something that just seems uncomfortable for the guests to get them a little shaken up. That's just my little sanity, because Sir Henry's went to Sir Henry's this year and it was awesome and we loved it. There's a couple of great scares that we got in the houses, and their production quality is really good too. So not too sure. I don't know. I feel like there's times where I'm like, this year was great. I feel like a lot of people are just hating on it a little bit more than we should, just because we're hard critics. And then the other side of me is like, man, I'm happy this year's over with. I'm ready for next year. So, and then Jared also put up saying the park-wide music really killed the mood. Please never again. 100% agree with you. I think that's where it started. I think it started from the entrance with the park-wide music. Okay, outside of HHN, but even during HHN, obviously, right? On our way to the park, we constantly play HHN 29 music, the loop, right? The area loop. No surprise to you guys. We play that music. I even play some from HHN 30 and some from other HHNs in the past. We play the music because that's like that's what sets the atmosphere. That's what sets the energy. And I felt like this year's music, man, HHN, you can't use lyrical, like songs with lyrics. You can't, because it gets to a point where if somebody hears that song over and over, you start to hate the song because it's
Even if you're just going for one night or even just like a weekend, like you hear that because there's only like 5 songs. So
well, I think there's like 8 or so.
So just walking around the park for 8 hours, you're gonna hear that at least times. Each of those songs like a few times. You're gonna be like, okay.
Yeah, it honestly, I guess to wrap mine, so I'm not talking so long about it because I could go on forever about the music. It reminded me of Mardi Gras at Universal. There's literally a song that HHN played that just literally sounded like Mardi Gras music. And with Mardi Gras, it's like after you go a couple times, you start hating the music. You're like, I am done with it. I'm ready for HHN. Bring HHN music in. And I just felt like this wasn't it. And for them to say, hey, we're having a like traditional Halloween year. Everything's going to be like traditional Halloween. We got the Pumpkin Lord out, Wicked Growth, Lil Boo, Sweet's Revenge, like that stuff. And then they played this music. I'm like, what? This, to me, there's just like, there's 2 different worlds here.
Yeah.
What they should have done was get the music from Graveyard, the music from Scarecrow, even the music for Legends Collide when you're waiting, the dun, 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 like all that atmospheric music is what they should have used for the area loop, like the entrance. When you're walking up, you should hear that and be like, holy crap, here we go.
Just like organ music.
Yeah, Haunted Mansion, play that in the beginning, like that will feel like it.
I agreed with what Pilfrick said. They leaned too heavily into like the theatrical versus scary.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't really like, it seemed like there wasn't even like a lot of gore or anything like that this year. It was very like theatrical, which is fine, but it's not scary.
Yeah, I agree. And there's a good balance to it. Like you can have some theatrical parts because, for instance, Dead Man's Pier, right? You had the bartender, right? That was in the bar there. He was explaining like the story, since he was just kind of like explaining what was going on, what you're about to come through and stuff. Like having those pieces in the houses are great. But when the whole event feels like it's just like theatrical in a sense, it's like I could go see, a theatrical performance 1 or 2 times, but once you go like us 25, 30 times, you're like, all right. It didn't feel like it had that pull that like years in the past has had. Vanessa and even, I want to bring this up. I'm sorry we didn't pull this up earlier. 199 said Descendants was the sleeper house this year, right? With a question mark? I wouldn't even put a question mark. I'd put an exclamation point on that. I think Descendants was like the sleeper house,
and because it was scary.
Yeah, it had the energy. I think the vibe to it was great. I think they did a well, like as an original house, that right there was well done. Yeah. I didn't even really care for the idea of Descendants, to be honest, leading into this year. I know you were looking forward to a little bit more than I was.
Well, because that's what I said. I was like, I like the like gritty, dark, dirty, like that's what makes me uncomfortable. So like, and like the claustrophobicness of it being like underground and stuff, I was like, I feel like that would scare me. Whereas like Dead Man's, I'm like, I know that's not gonna scare me. Like anything that has to do with nautical themes, I never get scared. I don't know why, it just doesn't scare me. So that's why I was like, Descendants sounds like it's going to be one of the scarier ones. And I think it was.
Yeah, for which Descendants?
Yeah.
What did you say? It was what?
I think it was one of the scarier ones because it had that feeling of like...
Yeah, a top 3 scariest houses of the event.
Yeah.
Honestly, like Descendants was in our top 5 easily, to be honest. Yeah. I would say that. But Vanessa Ann with the 199, thank you so much. Sorry it took so long to get to that. I know you had that up there a while ago. We just go off in tangents once we get involved. Like this live stream, we're already at 45 minutes, guys. We're going to be, talking everything and anything that we can with HHN 31, the goods and the bads and stuff. I know we've been kind of talking about some negatives. Let's get to some positives real quick. I know, we'll have a balance. We'll go back and forth and stuff. Some positives this year. Scare zones were beautiful, right? The houses this year, like Dead Man's Pier and Legends Clyde, Halloween, some other, just to name a few. All the houses were beautiful this year. They really were. Spirits and Hellblock, obviously there weren't like the top houses of the event, but Spirits, you can't argue that Spirits was not a beautiful house. Spirits was a beautifully done house. If you walk through and you look at all the detail and stuff, like that was a well done house. You go into Hellblock, for them to, supposedly it was supposed to be Evil Dead, for them to be able to scrap that and then pull that together real quick, there's a lot of detail in Hellblock, guys. We did the Behind the Screams tour, and because of that, we get to see obviously a lot more, which we advise you guys, if you can, we recommend going to a Behind the Screams tour if you guys can. It is a lot of fun. You get to see a lot that you wouldn't see normally going through the houses. And Hellblock Horror had a crap ton of detail and design to it, that for them to put some together that quick, like that was pretty well done as well. The houses were beautifully done. Staying positive, right? Scare zones were beautifully done. I felt like their production for this year, it felt like they raised the budget on a lot of things, and it showed. I think they did a virtual walkthrough, like rendering of Dead Man's and Legends Collide as they were prepping and creating the house for construction and stuff. So they can, how they do the blueprints and, blue sky artwork and stuff. They actually, I think, created a virtual rendering of those houses so they can walk through it, on the screen to be able to see how it would look and hear and all that stuff. And I think those houses proved to be like some of the top houses we had in design, as in depth and layers and stuff and levels. And I think Universal needs to do that for the rest of their houses if they can, because those houses were on another level, to be honest. So there's some positives. Yeah. That's what I got.
Yeah, it also kind of sucked halfway through the Lagoon show. Was decommissioned,
ghoulish, man.
So.
Is this just water?
It's liquor.
It's liquor.
No.
Liquor.
Oh
man.
Do you think there were less characters due to some people auditioning for Hollow Scream? Maybe, but
who's that?
What?
I want to put him up on
Jackson.
the screen. Where?
It might have just popped.
Oh, I got Brennan. Go ahead and talk about Jackson. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Brandon D with the $5 donation. Sorry, we're completely off schedule here. My favorites were Graveyard and Legends. So I'm happy with House of Scares Under the Year. We agree.
Those were our favorites too.
That was on ours. I remember. We'll get into that in a second, but I remember us saying Graveyard since the beginning, and then Legends really creeped up to be our number one.
Yeah.
And it just stuck like that.
And it was funny because they announced that, and in one of the Horror Nights Facebook group, someone posted oh, Legends got House of the Year. And everybody in the comments was like, not everybody, but a lot of people in the comments were like, they shouldn't have gotten that.
Yeah, I don't think people understand how the awards are done.
Which
it's not based on fan vote.
Yeah, and it's also not just the prettiest house, which I would say Legends is really pretty, but it's not just the prettiest house and all of that. It's a lot of it has to do with
behind the scenes stuff,
the actor, or the scare actors, and
it's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. It's more of an internal thing. The award doesn't do anything for anybody. No. It's just, hey, congrats, right? That's really all it is. It's more for the scare actors and stuff.
It's for morale.
Yeah.
But
honestly, I don't know. Do they have a man? I don't know. Do they have a Scare Zone and House of the Year award that they do with the fans? Is there a fan vote that HHN does? What? Okay, so why don't we do this? Why don't we create our own House of the Year and Scare Zone of the Year awards? Which we talked about this, I think, a few weeks ago. We talked about doing a video mid-November where we do like House of the Year and Scare Zone of the Year kind of award from what we would think won it. And then we would do a poll with you guys in a live stream. And then you guys would vote saying which one would win it. And then we would present that house, that Scare Zone, whoever the most votes based like on the, the popular vote, the fan vote, who won House and Scare Zone of the Year.
Yeah. We
should do something like that. What do you guys think? Should we do that? So Brandon D with the $5 donation. Thank you, my man. Appreciate it. And you were talking with Jackson though. I want to pull this up.
Yeah, but it also relates to what Jim said.
Oh, okay. Does
so
it?
You can go to
All
that.
right. Jim Daniels still here in the chat. The $20 donation. I think they need to put their money into more scare actors and stop the how pretty can we make it look.
Yeah, and someone else.
That's an interesting take.
Pilferk mentioned like that I had said it was more of a staffing issue, and I think like it wasn't so much that they like didn't want to cast as many people. I think that they literally just like couldn't find people. Someone asked if we think it was possibly because of Hollow Scream, which it's an interesting like thought because it is like a competitor, but I just being in like entertainment in Orlando, I would assume more people would want to do Horror Nights. It's going to be about the same in terms of time and money.
Yeah.
I would say more people would want to do Horror Nights depending on like the role, of course. So I don't know that Hollow Scream would necessarily be a reason.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw this out. Here's a point I don't know if anybody's looked at. HHN gets thousands of people to audition every single year, right? They have a lot of roles to fill up. Guess what? Not everybody got a role this year. Not everyone got accepted. So it wasn't that they had a casting issue at first hand. They might have had a couple of roles that they have roles that have specific requirements that they need to be fitted. But I felt like, they might have had an issue like that. But I think it's like once the event really kicked off, a lot of people dropped. It seemed like we didn't have, from the start to the finish, there was a higher percentage of people dropping out of the event than there was in years past. I feel like that could be completely wrong. That's my opinion. That's my take on it. But I just felt like from a lot of people that I've heard just like leaving the event really put HHN in a hurt where they're like, in the beginning, they were like, okay, we still need like a handful of people here and there to fit in. We're looking for specific types of people to fit these roles we already have created. And if you don't get those people, obviously you can't really fill that role, Yeah. So that's kind of hard on their perspective to get done. But then once the event starts and then you got people dropping like flies, you're like, crap, now we really need to fill this event. This event is half full. I feel like that's what happened after the first few weeks. People just started leaving left and right.
I don't know why.
I'm not too sure. I don't know.
It happens every year.
Yeah,
people,
it's an every year thing.
Do like 2 weeks and they're like, oh my God, I can't do this.
Yeah.
And then they leave. But
it felt like this year there was a lot more.
Yeah.
At least from what I've heard internally. It just seemed like they were just hurt everywhere, even in operations too.
I think also like one thing that all of entertainment in Orlando has been dealing with is entertainment like didn't come back after COVID until like way later than other areas of the parks.
Yeah,
so
one
like
of the last departments pretty filled.
Like personally, I didn't get called back until when was it? Like late 2021. So I was like out from Universal from like March 2020 to like August 2021. That's when they tried to call me back. I had already gotten another job, so I didn't come back. I think that happened with a lot of entertainment is like, they were like, I can't just not have a job for this amount of time. Like it's been so long. So a lot of those people ended up going and getting other jobs. And then when they were called back to their entertainment positions, they had already had other jobs and they're like, I can't come back. So I think just entertainment in general is like struggling with casting everywhere, not just HHN. What are you doing?
I'm looking at something. Hold on. I'm just checking.
But they did it seemed like they did kind of change around the way that they were casting this year, and they weren't accepting as many people who had limited availability. So I think that also hurt them as well, because they were like, we don't want as many people who like have super limited availability. We would rather just have everybody here every single night.
But I mean, it's easier for them because imagine if they have somebody half availability, like then we have to find another person to hire to fill that spot.
And then I think it kind of bit them on the butt because they had those people who were hard cast or like cast for every single night drop, and then they didn't have those people who had limited availability that they could bring in and throw into random roles.
Yeah. So, and going back to what Jim was saying with putting money into the scare actors and stop how pretty we can make it. I feel like, HHN's on the right track with making it how pretty they can make it because I feel like that's really good. It helps with the event and an overall perspective. But I do feel like there needs to be more of an attention focus on the scare actors to really, like, what more can they do to help them progress and get better so that they can, because you can, like, and HHN says this all the time on the inside to their scare actors. They can sit here and create the most wonderful, scary house that they can, but you need scare actors to give the event life, right? The scare actors are the heart of HHN. They are. And if you don't have any scare actors for your event...
Did it just turn off?
Do you hear that?
No. All I hear is music.
You don't hear that.
Yeah, I do hear that.
The lightsaber just turned off.
What is happening? Oh, is
My
it
phone's going off now.
Is it the lens?
Yeah, it's the lens now, but it wasn't like that. Okay, guys, sorry, we're having a paranormal moment. The fan just turned off randomly. Our lightsaber just died. The camera's making a lot of noise.
I think the lens is set to automatic.
I think Stephanie just wants to make it realistic for y'all.
I think we had a
cool paranormal moment. Give me a second, guys. Jeez, that was crazy.
Oh, also, while he's taking care of that,
let me try to fix this.
Sorry, I was reading something. While he's fixing that, did that work?
Yeah, I'm trying to do some things.
Christopher said that they announced they're closing all of Kid Zone except for ET.
I haven't heard that.
I hadn't heard that either, but that's like big news.
I'm back. Sorry.
Honestly, if they do, fine. As long as ET doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, they better not mess with ET. I'd be disappointed. Jim Daniels, $20. There's your paranormal little investigation you want to do. Appreciate it, as always.
That was weird.
There's a lot going on. This is... Jesus, man. We're on edge. Hey, you guys want an event that's scary, right? We're going to give it to you here live in the studio. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Get ready for that. Kevin Diosi, by the way, great seeing you at HHN this year. With the $9.99 saying the new house area inside Fast and Furious and Shrek Theater House are coming back. Do you guys think we'll get 11 or even 12 houses next year? The event needs to spread out more people. I've heard people said that they can't do more houses for some reason, and I feel like they very much could. If we get the Shrek location back, the question is, could they actually put a house in there? I don't really know what the layout and the design for that area is, because with the Shrek Theater, they had 2 theaters, right? So they would just close one of the theaters down to be able to put a house in. I don't know what's really going there in a sense, concept-wise as a layout. So I don't know if it's possible to put a house, especially if it's a new attraction in a sense that's probably going to draw a lot of people in. I doubt they want to close it down for the construction of a house. So I'm not too sure if they're going to be able to do that. But if they do, I don't see why they couldn't do, like, if they can add a house in that Shrek unit like area, I don't see why they can't do 11 houses for some, because it felt like there were a lot of crowds just out and about everywhere. And then that, of course, the houses had a heavy wait line for all the houses pretty much throughout the whole run. And there needs to be another thing to draw the crowd away. So it eats at the crowd so it can spread it out more evenly so people can do more and enjoy more of it. So I do agree. I feel like could potentially get something new for next year.
Yeah, and then with this, like, Kid Zone stuff closing. That's crazy. They literally just added that DreamWorks show. And they're closing it.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to look at that actually. That's good information. We'll have to check that out because the question is, what are they doing over there? How long is it going to be? Because Universal doesn't really go public with what they're doing until like last minute. They let people know what they're working on, which I personally love. It keeps us on edge, especially as content creators. We kind of stay on edge about it. But I don't know, because with Monsters Cafe being gone and Shrek being gone, like that was a whole section of HHN that we just lost. How long is Kid Zone going to be out of commission? Is it just a small van?
If we lose that entire area for HHN, it's going to be a mess.
Yeah. Where do they? Because it doesn't take anything away from HHN. It's just an area for the houses, like 2 locations for house entrances. But where would they have those house entrances? By Springfield?
They could technically have them over by Descendants.
Yeah, in Springfield area,
or by Men in Black.
You know where the ride is, and then where the whole market is, and you got the pictures of them on the wall, like Bart and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's all
I know it's backstage, but
yeah, but that's working areas backstage. It's not just roads. But they could put. I don't even know how they would do that because that one little walkway is so
that'd
small.
be interesting to get involved. I don't know. I have to look that up because now I'm interested to figure that out. Anyways, Kevin, the $9.99. It was good seeing you, my man. We get to see you a couple times there. That was absolutely a blast. So, all right. Hour and 2 minutes, guys. We talked a couple things about HHN 30. If you guys are just joining us now, 1 year late, that's fine. We'll forgive you. HHN 31, we're going over a couple things. Sad to see it over. Happy to get ready for next year. And speaking of next year, HHN 32, guys. We already have a house officially announced.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? How do you feel? Hello?
I'm reading messages.
No, I know. I meant on Halloween day, we were literally getting dressed and ready to go to the event, and house was announced. Steph walked in, was like, Brian, there's a house announced. I'm like, what? That's cool and all. But what? Man, I know maybe HHN's everybody's complaining that we announced things too late. Here you go. Halloween day. It's hey, let us enjoy, let us enjoy tonight. It's the last night. They could have done something fun at the last night to kind of tease that house being announced, and then maybe mid-November, then do an official announcement. Because, this is how I'm gonna go. This is how I'm gonna go about it, guys. I look at it, and Universal's very corporate. I feel like they're starting to go very corporate, right? I feel like they're not fully thinking things through. They're not looking at it from a full creative perspective. If they wanted to make this fun for the guests, right, which that's their goal, instead of just on the last day of Halloween announcing a house for next year's event, right, do something special for this year's event, right? They could have done something special at the event, yada, yada. But in that last hour or 10 minutes of closing or whatever, right, they could have done something in the park that would have made everybody go what was that? Did you hear that? Did you see that? That wasn't for this year. That was never here this year. Why would they have it in the last 10 minutes? And then you would have everybody think, is that for next year? Could that be?
It's kind of we were going through Descendants last night. Last night?
Yeah, last night.
Our last run through of Descendants, we noticed the
the train going straight up?
There's a skeleton hanging out of that train window. He was holding a waffle. And that was
yeah, he had a giant waffle in his hand.
A big waffle.
So it could have been something that,
they did
created as a joke or whatever. But to be honest, I look at things from a storyboard perspective, and that kills the storyline of Descendants because that guy had a nice clean waffle in his hand and he's been dead for years. So why was there a waffle there, right? I remember going through some of the other houses and I didn't see anything else, but I want them to add those things on the last night to make, the diehard fans who are there all the time to kind of be on edge, hey, did you guys see this? Did you hear that? Get the excitement going, because HHN fans literally die in November. We really do. we love like me personally and stuff. We both love the holidays, right? Don't get me wrong. But once the holidays finish, the holidays are great having. When you're an HHN fan, the holidays are great having because they keep your mind off of the fact that HHN's not coming back until next year, September. Because when January is here, you have nothing. Yeah. So the holidays are a good distraction. But I feel like they need to do something on the last night, in the last hour, that kind of gets people like, oh, like, okay, cool, because you're already closing that event. And then mid-November, maybe do like a first announcement or something like that. Because now they're like in the holiday swing. They're doing some holidays and they drop something HHN in there just to keep the HHN fans ready for next year. Then go full steam with your holiday stuff all through December. And then January, drop something else. And then February, maybe something. And then just every month, there's at least one thing so that we can just continuously be on this train of excitement leading into next year, get the hypes up, and then they need to deliver on that expectation.
Yeah.
So, I know Mary Vav said Stranger Things 4. Literally, Stephanie said the same thing, but I don't know. That would be great. But why would they put it in a Descendants house? And like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. There's a lot to think about it.
Waffle House food can make you undead.
Hey, what do you guys think? You guys cool with seeing like a Waffle House? Like at the event?
Waffle House?
Like a Waffle House?
That'd be cool.
A little scary, huh?
Yeah, I agree. Fungi Gamer said, can they please make up with Netflix? That was missed this year with like the IP possibilities. I agree, or even just any other IP. Like, I feel like this year the IPs were like...
Halloween 1978 was great.
Great, but we've had that before. And then...
Yeah, that's true. But that was great. That house last night had a consistent wait time of 130 to 150 minutes posted.
Yeah, that also sucked. And then like the weekend, it's just not horror to me. Like I know his music videos are, but like I need like some actual like horror movie or horror show IPs at the event.
Careful with that. A lot of people are going to fight you for that.
Why?
Weekend is horror. Weekend is horror. I know. I get what you're saying though. I agree with you. Like, to be honest, like we did the weekend a couple times and it's cool and all, but like it's the same music, right? And it's that lyrical music that you're constantly hearing and you hear at the front of the house and stuff. Like, it's cool and all. They also seemed like they had a lot of casting issues through that house too. It was like hit or miss. I'm glad they brought it to the event. It was fun. It wasn't a bad house, I'll tell you that. Like, we enjoyed it, but it wasn't one to really draw us into the event. So from our perspective and our opinions, Halloween was pretty much the biggest draw in IP because Blumhouse we really didn't care for. Now, I understand that the classic monsters are technically an IP. We would still consider them an original because the story of them is original. It's not like an IP that Universal usually takes and it has to, literally make a replica of. They say, hey, the classic monsters, we know that there are certain ones that are contracted with other companies and all that stuff with Universal that they own, yada, yada. But they're like, hey, storyline, let's create something completely crazy and random, which they have been doing, and it's been great. But that's the classic monsters. Like, how can you not like the classic monsters? Yeah. I get if they might feel old to some of you guys if they've been overusing it.
To me, it doesn't also feel like an IP.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, to us, like, we consider it as an original house. It's an original storyline. You don't know what you're getting into until you get into the house, especially with the characters that they use. Like, this Dracula is more of a modernized version. The Wolfman is more of a modernized version. Same with the Mummy. Like, all of the classic monsters are not like their classic form self. It's much more of a modernized twist, animalistic like form of their classic selves with their own original story. It's an original idea of an IP with an original concept and original storyline.
So it's an original.
That's why we make it as an original. Fight us on that.
Yeah, I would like them to get their IP situation figured out for next year.
Yeah. We want to see a good balanced, 5 and 5. I think.
And I'll say I would love to see like some IPs that are not the conventional like popular thing. Even like, I'm fine if they don't bring Stranger Things. That's fine. I would love to see like some actual like horror movies or TV shows or whatever.
Steph would love to see Hereditary at the event.
I just think that like the mainstream like houses, of course that brings more people in because like the general population's gonna know about it. Stranger Things, The Weeknd, Haunting of Hill House. But I think that also makes it not as scary, which Hill House was scary, but like I think it makes it not as scary because the general population's going to like things that are not as like super scary. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't want them, I wish they wouldn't just like try to cater to everybody. Like I want them to just cater to like horror fans. Which maybe that's just me because I am a horror fan.
They need to have a balance with that. I will say they need to have a balance with it. I'll give that to you. Because to me, I like the mainstream stuff that they use, but they need to make it, instead of theatrical, they need to make it darker. They need to make you feel like you're going into like with Stranger Things. Stranger Things was great and all, but they need to give you that sense like you're one of the actors in the show and a Demogorgon is literally going to come take your life. Like you should be scared of that situation, So I feel like they need to find some other aspects and other things. Like for instance, I want to bring this up because I know Let's Talk HHN mentioned this. How can you not like the bugs? Come on, right? So Bug House, for instance. I thought Bug House was a good mid-tier type of house. The one thing I realized is, they have all these fake little bugs on the wall. And we did that house last night. And as we were walking through, when we got out, I realized like, the more you go through it, the more you're like, okay, those bugs, like, I get it. It doesn't get, it gets less scary. You get desensitized to the house. But one thing with that house I realized that they could have done, very simple, was have a projection on the walls of small little black dots just moving really quickly. Just like little quick movements, because then out of the corner of your eye, like your brain's going to play that, that trick on you where you thought you saw this bug move or something move. And it makes you think like, wait, are there real bugs in this house? I feel like a small detail like that could have really helped that house get a little bit scarier than it was, especially the more that you go through it. Like the locals, you get desensitized to the scare and then you just start just enjoying being inside of there. But I feel like even for those type of houses, we need to have one thing that still kind of makes us a little uncomfortable. Like Hill House last year, that dark room made me, every time we go through it, a little uncomfortable. Even like towards the end, after we've been in that house hundreds of times, a little uncomfortable. Same with graveyard games and stuff.
I mean, I will say Bugs did have that one hallway.
It did. But like over time, I got comfortable knowing like, okay, the string is the string. Like I'm fine. I feel like they need to have something that's constantly to get you mentally, like your mind's playing tricks on yourself. Mm-hmm. So that's what I would say. Yeah. Then Vanessa Ann with a 199 said 13 Ghosts need to be an IP next year. We've had a lot of people this off season, like leading up to HHN 31, said that 13 Ghosts needs to be an IP. We have not seen that movie yet.
No, we need to see that.
It's going to be on our list. I promise you guys, you have our official guarantee that by next year's event, we will see 13 Ghosts, probably early next year. I'm going to say early next year, we'll have that movie already scratched off the list. And if we think it's good enough to be at the event, we'll vibe with you guys and we'll put our official statement on it. And we'll help you guys try to get that to be a house for an upcoming year. I think 13 Ghosts would be cool.
Especially if they do, that was from the 90s, right? I keep saying I really want like a 90s year. Which they announced Chucky and I got excited about that because I was like, maybe it'll be all 90s, but I realized that the Chucky house next year is going to be the TV show.
So, okay, going into next year, Chucky got announced, right? However, I know it's based off the TV show, like the current one that's going on, but Chucky, as in the character and all that stuff, was created in the 90s. It would be really cool if they did a decade year of the 90s for next year. Seems like a lot of people, at least, me personally, I know Steph, we've talked about it. We've had a lot of viewers, even some, I think there are some of you guys in the live chat too, that would agree with this. Like HHN 28, 29, those decade years were amazing. Like we enjoyed that. The atmosphere was spot on. Everything was spot on, right? And I feel like people would love to see a 90s themed era come into HHN. And next year could be the year to do it, just for the fact that everybody's like, hey, we're wanting those decades years again. Obviously, we can't do every year as a decade year. It'll get old. But, you have Chucky that got announced. You got this show that's out there that they're promoting, that they've been promoting Chucky, it seems like for years now. Scream, Ghostface, if they can work out getting Ghostface involved, that's a 90s. And even if they do the recent movie, right? That obviously came out in 2022, but because it originated in the 90s, that's a 90s year movie, right? What else that they could do? The Gremlins, right? I know Gremlins, people have been asking for Gremlins, right? Those are just 3 IPs that I named off. That could be, yeah, those could be 3 very strong 90s movies.
And they talked about bringing Evil Dead this last year, and it didn't end up happening. They could do Army of Darkness.
Yeah, Army of Darkness, which was the 90s, right? So even though like the new Evil Dead's coming out, which if they do bring that for next year, you have that, but it's like it's a reference to
Fear Street too.
And Fear Street having the night, had a year in the 90s and stuff. Like those are strong 90s themed IPs they could have, and then there you go, you got 5. Now let's do originals, whatever they want to do. They can have like one solid 90s themed original house that literally takes you back to being in the 90s. Like maybe
Candyman, that was the 90s too.
Candyman, but what was something big in the 90s? What was something that was like a big deal in the 90s?
Nirvana.
A Nirvana house?
Grunge.
But like,
you mean like an event?
Yeah, like what was like a big, like what was trending or something, you know, like for an original idea, what is something that HHN could do that when you walk in, it's like 90s, like this screams 90s all around?
I don't know, but I watched that documentary on Netflix about the Woodstock that happened in the 90s. I forget what year exactly. And that would be a terrifying house. Not a house.
Just a stampede house.
That entire situation was terrifying.
Right.
But those bands, you could have music. You could do like Korn.
You can do that. Korn. You can do that.
And stuff.
That type of music in this house, and maybe you go into some some club or whatever, right? You go to some club, some alleyway, some dark type of thing in the 90s, some big, city downtown, and you have like these bands that are playing, like overhead, but then you're underground, you get involved in some like dirty, like deal gone wrong, and you're in the midst of it, or they can make it like, creatures or something like that if they want to, or some paranormal aspect, but have it to where you're in this like dirty alleyway, you got these rock, there's music going overhead from like upstairs and stuff, and maybe make like a 90s original themed house just on that, and then you have 6 houses based off the year of the 90s, and then you could do just 4 random IPs if you want, maybe a classic monsters house and some other things.
Santa Ben made a good comment about how like everybody thought
the end of the world,
like Y2K, everybody thought that the end of the world was going to happen when like it turned 2000. That could be a cool house.
Yeah. See, hey, let's like, come on, guys, let's get some ideas out there. Let's help HHN. Let's get some stuff.
They already
going,
have their stuff figured out.
I know they do, but they need to listen. I know they might have the stuff ready for this year, obviously coming up already, but who doesn't say HHN 34 is a blank slate right now?
Yeah.
Blank slate, right? A blank slate. I was gonna say a blank sheet and a clean slate.
Cyberpunk, some sort of like cyberpunk house for like the internet.
I would love that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Cyberpunk.
You would love that.
Jeez. A Thriller house? When did Thriller come out though?
I thought that was the 80s, but maybe.
Or are they just saying Thriller in a sense, or like Michael Jackson Thriller?
Oh, I don't know.
I think Michael Jackson Thriller was 80s.
I think Blair Witch could be a good street, but like Blair Witch is all psychological. Like there's you don't really see the witch really. So I feel like it would be really hard to make it. You know what I mean? Because like you don't see the thing. Like what would the scare actors be? Just like the kids that are lost?
Yeah, I mean pretty much. But then you got Thriller 70s. I was about to say Silence of the Lambs, Vamp 95, right? I know somebody mentioned 95 earlier. I think it was Mary. But yeah, Vamp 95 comes back to New York, and then we literally have one scare zone. We have like 4 to 5 IPs solid from the 90s. We have an original themed 90s. Let's get the music, which, hey, what did Steph say? Korn, Slipknot, whatever. Like, cool. I don't like lyric music, though. I feel like they could find, like, just, I don't know, like, this year's, like, HHN felt like it was that vibe for the music, but it just didn't match. I feel like they need to have that atmospheric music that's like the 90s in a sense. And we'll talk more about the music later in some other talk. Oh, it's a big ant. Holy snap, look at the size of this ant. Sorry, guys, I'm distracted.
Ooh, Are You Afraid of the Dark? I remember that show.
I don't know if I got rid of it. Oh, yeah, do you see how big this ant is? Look at this thing. All right, guys, I'm distracted. There's bugs in the garage.
Oh,
Surprise.
no, they're coming for us.
I don't want to kill it. I just don't want him to get on me. He's huge.
Oh, Jim Daniels. Misery, Sleepy Hollow, Arachnophobia. Oh, God, not another Bug's house.
The people under the stairs. Yeah, there's a lot of things in the 90s that
I think we talked about this before. Would playing Korn cause a hurricane?
Yes, it would.
You think so?
Yeah, because a hurricane doesn't know. They're like, oh, they're playing Korn. I know what Korn means.
And the hurricane's like...
A hurricane just shows up. I feel like, yeah. So we wouldn't be able to play Korn.
So no Korn.
No Korn
Just
anywhere.
Slipknot.
Don't even say it. The hurricane's already forming for next year. The hurricane, like, as they're sitting here speculating, like, we're speculating for next year, hurricanes are speculating what their lineup's going to be for next year. It's crazy. And at Valerie, hey, this is a great point too. I didn't even think about this. I mean, OG, it was 1991 was their first year.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Then they definitely could have, like, monsters and...
Maybe bring back their first ever haunted house. And do it, like, exactly the same, but this year's technology and makeup and scale costumes like this year.
That would be cool.
You guys hear this music? You guys know what this song is.
You wouldn't have music like this, bro.
I know, but I just want to loud it up so you guys can hear, like, we're on to something. This music gets louder. We're like... Anyways. Steph and I personally, we have a lot of things we're going to work on in the off season that I think you guys will like coming up for next year's HHN. Obviously, we're going to do things for the holidays and stuff. We're going to do some videos, some short films and stuff. We're already prepping for our Instagram's countdown to HHN series for next year. And we're also prepping for our countdown to HHN series for YouTube next year as well. And then we have some things that I think will be pretty interesting to show you guys, just HHN related. We're just, shooting the stuff out there and stuff. That could be really cool just to get your thoughts on. So we have a lot that we're excited for. But it's kind of crazy that we're sitting here the day after HHN 31, and there's a lot of things I can talk about with HHN 31 still going on. And of course, we'll probably have more live streams and stuff, coming up soon that we'll continuously talk about HHN 31. But at this point, I'm like, all right, close the book on HHN 31, and now we're full blown speculating HHN 32. Which I feel like that's cheating, but it's November 1st, so the next thing on the horizon is HHN 32. I want to put a poll up real quick for you guys, because I know we're at an hour and 23 minutes. I got to check what the battery is.
Yeah, we should all just create HHN 32. They don't need the creative team. We'll do it.
All right. So let me check the battery on the camera, which I think not too bad. It's getting low. Everything is getting low. I know your computer is also pretty low too.
What will be better? 31 or 32?
Yeah. I want to know what you guys think. Will HHN 32 be better than HHN 31? Obviously, we don't know what 32 is going to be, but I just want to know what you guys think, because depending on that answer will kind of give me a feel for what you guys thought of this past year's event.
I just hope they figure out, like, the crowds. I don't know what they can do, but they just need to figure something out, because it was ridiculous this year.
Yeah.
We thought honestly, last year was bad. This year was worse.
Yeah, this year, there really, like I said, there might have been 4 nights that felt pretty decent in the
And
crowd.
I know someone was saying, like, this is way back in the chat, so I'm not going to be able to find it. But someone was saying, what if they had, like, islands as well? And then they would spread out the crowds, like, there's more rides open, all of that. And then someone else said, well, wouldn't that just make it harder to staff? But you could have the same amount of houses even. You could just do, like, 5 and 5 or like.
So we did a video this early this year. Jeez, I keep trying to say last year. Early this video where we speculated what if islands came back to HHN and the possibility of that. And a lot of people said that. I don't know why. A lot of people say that islands cannot be back, and I'm gonna stand on the side that islands definitely 100% could be back. Listen to me, corporate America. When HHN's happening at Universal, it's 7 o'clock, right? Guess what? Islands is still open. People are over at Islands doing rides and stuff, right? Islands is still open. Now, I think it'll be easier when Epic Universe opens, because closing both of those parks and trying to get all those guests out and coordinating 2 parks, I get that. However, if they really wanted to, they can do a later opening for Islands. There's a lot of ways you can go about this, but really the overall look on this with Islands of Adventure is that you don't need to have 6 houses and 4 scare zones over there. You don't. Put 2 scare zones, maybe 3 scare zones in Islands, and don't tell me that they don't have enough space for it, because I know if you guys have walked in Horrors of Halloween as well as where Scarecrow was, there's streets just like that over in Islands, if not even bigger. And I know the IP things with, like, you got Harry Potter and Marvel and certain things that they would have to work out, but they can do it. Especially in their original own areas, they can put 2 scare zones. They can have 1 entrance for 1 house over there, and then have, like, your main rides open, and just have Islands open to bring more of a crowd over for a limited time, in a sense.
Yeah.
That, I feel like, just to help with the crowds, they
Even
need to add
just spread
something.
the crowds out. Like, even just having, like, a few houses in Islands, I think would lower the lines in both parks, because you're not going to have people, like, all in one area. Like, people aren't going to go all the way over to the other park to do, like, 1 house and then come all the way back to the other park to do another house. It'll keep it kind of, like, split up.
Yeah. I'm going to bring 2 things up real quick. Or 3 things real quick. Ashton put up, what about the Volcano Bay? Steph and I did actually talk about even doing, like, how cool would it be if they did a limited time Halloween event overlay at Volcano Bay for a few nights.
Island.
Like, in the month of October, every Friday and Saturday, they open up at 8 p.m. till midnight. Just a 4-hour event at Volcano Bay, which will be overlaid and themed to Spooky Island from Scooby-Doo. And it was a separate ticket event that you would have to do every Friday and Saturday in the month of September and October, or just September or just October, whatever they want to do.
That'd be kind of cool.
I feel like that would be something that Steph and I think personally would drop $80 per person to go do one night and just like, it's just Volcano Bay, just normal operation, 8 to 10 o'clock or 8 to midnight. And it'd be, under the lights, they have the lights on in the water, all that stuff. And then maybe have the Scooby-Doo characters like they already have in the park over at Volcano Bay. Maybe have a couple of the Spooky Island, creatures around and stuff. And that's it. They don't have to do anything crazy. Maybe play the music from Spooky Island that you would hear in the movie just around. Maybe have like a little dance party somewhere and stuff, a DJ here and there. And that's it. They don't have to do anything crazy.
And honestly, they could make it more like family friendly for Halloween, because there are families that still go to Universal during that period of time. And they don't have especially if you have islands in the mix with Horror Nights, they don't have anything to do at night. Like when Horror Nights is going on and they're staying at the resort or something. So that would be another thing that, the families could do if they don't want to go to Horror Nights or take their kids to Horror Nights or whatever.
Yeah. I feel like with talking about the family perspective, I feel like Universal needs to have more of a daytime presence with Halloween.
I agree with that. They did that in 2020. And
they did the trick-or-treating thing.
Yeah.
I felt like that's something that should have been continuously done.
It
doesn't cost them anything.
They encouraged costumes, and then there were trick-or-treat locations.
Yeah, they need to also,
the
I think one thing that'd be cool is to have some photo like spots and stuff. They have certain like little props up for, you know, families to take photos, maybe specific characters dressed in Halloween overlay and stuff.
They get that in California, I think. They also get that in like
I think Hong
overseas.
Kong.
They like Hello Kitty has a costume, and I think like SpongeBob and Patrick have a costume.
Yeah, I feel like they need to do stuff like that here during the day for families and stuff like that, because I feel like people would love to go, and that would draw like the family perspective in the earlier day, and then more of like your mature perspective in a sense for HHN at night. So would you guys here real quick? I know I got so many things going on now, but see, 90% of people said that HHN 32 they think will be better than HHN 31. So that just goes to show you, like, we have hopes for next year, but it just shows you, like, hey, like, we're ready for next year versus looking back at this year.
Yeah.
So
nobody's like, this year can't be beat.
Yeah. And then Mary Vav with a very specific $10.31 donation. October 31st. October being the 10th month, 31st being the 31st day for Halloween, as well as 31 with HHN. I mean, you couldn't have done that any better, right? Thank you for making HHN 31 so exciting for us all. Looking forward to going on the HHN 32 with you guys. Mary, we're looking forward to having you a part of the team and moving forward to next year's event.
Yeah.
Thank you for the 1031. We appreciate it. By the way, I don't think we really even told everybody, like, happy Halloween to you guys.
Yes.
This last week we've been
over,
nonstop crazy, and I know it's over, but like, happy Halloween. I know somebody mentioned like Halloween is not just a day, it's a state of mind. That's what Halloween is. It's a vibe, guys. So Mary Vab, shout out to you. Can't wait to continue to create more content, see what you think about next year's lineup that we have.
Yeah.
We're next year, like, this year was cool and all, but next year we have it dialed in for some really interesting videos for you guys. We're looking forward to showing you guys some of the stuff. So, but yeah, so what do you guys think? Should HHN, which I'm already kind of saying yes to this, should HHN reach out to Stephanie and I? Because the door is open, right, guys? Like, my phone, it's right over here. You know, Steph's phone's over there. Hondo is willing. You know, he's on the market too. Our door is always open. HHN can call me. They can text me at any time of the day and night. They can say, hey, Brian and Steph, could you guys come out here at 4 a.m. just to talk with us in front of the arches? I'm like, man, I tell them I am there already. Where are you guys? I would love nothing more than to collaborate with HHN. Maybe you guys can help us out on this, right? Like, spread the word. Let's get this going. I would love to collaborate with them and have some, just like, I would just love to see what they do. Like, I just want to learn what does it take to create this event, because this event is amazing, guys. It is. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes that we don't even know or can't even comprehend. The licensing for things, like the creation of the costumes, the original concepts, all that. But I would love to get inside and see how it's done. And I would very much love for HHN to say, hey, Brian and Steph, this is y'all's year, take over, because we would decorate all of Universal. We would do Universal Studios Florida, Halloween Horror Nights. We would bring Islands of Adventure in the mix. We would show you guys how that could, in our aspect, our opinions, I'm sure everybody has theirs. And then we would bring Volcano Bay with a spooky island overlay and all that stuff. And that would be our year to give you guys. One of the 50 years we have planned out. That'd be one of them. Would you guys love to see that? If so, I don't know, call Universal and just tell them. I feel like they're like, we know them, or that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
No. Which, I mean, that's fine. I get it. But if you guys are down for something like that, spread the word. Let's get it out there. Let's get all the content creators to get together and like create like a house or something. Let's get something. Let's get something good. Let's get it good.
I know Vanessa said the doing Volcano Bay at night is a hazard with the water, but Disney does this.
Disney does do
Disney
that.
can do it, Universal can do it.
And on top of that, I understand with it being a hazard with the water, especially people going out and drinking, but guess what? Universal Volcano Bay already sells alcohol at the park. So, at Volcano Bay, they have the bars and stuff.
What do you mean with
Because
water?
if people get drunk and they're in the water, that's a liability issue if they drown.
Oh.
People being rough and all that stuff. I get that. However, they can oversight it. Like, it's not Universal's job to see how people act, in a sense, right? That's your own individual self. Like, you should take care of yourself. You shouldn't be acting like a fool, drinking and doing stupid stuff.
But if it's like, because it's dark, that Disney has figured out how to do it because they have nighttime.
They do
water
the
park things all the time.
at Typhoon Lagoon. They have a glow in the dark party. They do at Typhoon Lagoon every single year. They can do that at Volcano Bay.
They just have to put more lighting in.
Yeah, which it's easy to put up those. I mean, they do it at HHN. Look at all the stand-up lightings that they put up at HHN. So I feel like they could do it. Pretty simple.
Yeah. Come on.
What? Hey.
That was a long hey.
Look, if you want to get serious with us, let me know. Because we're not here to play around. We're here to create good stuff. All right? Look, I love you, HHN, but like, now's not the time. I'm on a live stream. Okay? If you want to get serious, let me know. We'll be there. All right. Love you too. Okay. Bye. All right. Anyways, Valerie Burns with the 1999. For those drinks I never bought, you guys are great people. Thanks for writing up the season with us, weirdos. Calling me a weirdo?
No, she
Yeah.
said us
I made that one comment about you guys, and then I put it in the little stream, and now all of our members are like, "Hey, weirdos here
we're
and
weirdos.
stuff." I'm like, "Oh no." That's probably, and Universal's gonna be like, "You call your people weirdos? Like, we'll
Yeah.
never have you on our team."
That's not nice.
It's like, no, you don't get it. It's all right. I mean, they had Chucky in 2018, like literally on the street, come out and be like, "Hey, y'all losers!" Yeah. So I don't know. Valerie, thank you so much for the 1999. I feel like our drinking days are over until next year, HHN.
Yes.
Like, we had a couple drinks on some nights, and we're like, we're getting old.
Yeah,
We can't do this.
Well, that cruise in December.
Oh yeah, we have the cruise coming up. That's true.
But we'll buy some drinks with that.
Yeah, all right. We'll do
$20
that.
bucks.
We appreciate it, though. Thank you, Valerie.
When we do our cookie stroll.
Yeah. I'm excited for the cookie stroll. But I don't want to talk anything holidays in this live stream.
Yeah,
We're sticking to
holidays.
HHN. Also,
Fungi Gamer, you came up with it.
right. Erica Williams, how was HHN not calls you yet?
Don't know.
Don't know.
I mean, they just did.
Oh yeah. That was
You almost broke character there.
I mean, it wasn't really HHN. Like, it was somebody from HHN.
Oh
But-
yeah, the craft is from the 90s. That would be cool. I love the craft.
Also, Jim Daniels. I love being a weirdo. We're happy. Hey, as long as you're happy, we're happy. We'll support you. Okay, you weirdo? We got you. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're an hour and 40 minutes. What was our longest live stream? Do you know?
I don't know, but I think this is it.
I know. I think we did one that was like an hour and 43 or 48 minutes. We're going to break the record. I think we're going to go for 2 hours. So we have 20 minutes left. Is that cool with you?
No.
No, that's not.
Unfortunately, no.
No.
I have some work to do.
Oh, Steph's got work to do. Bye. Sorry, guys. We gotta go.
I mean,
wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. We can't leave these people here.
I forget how it goes. We haven't been on that ride in so long.
Man, you talk about missing an opportunity. She's like, we can't? And they're like, no, come on. You know how we feel about our group. Yeah.
Yeah, just
Wait a minute. I like that idea. How about a Brian from Orlando Halloween party mid-November? And then big ad, poof, Halloween party, you're all invited. All right. If you guys want to know how a conversation goes with me and stuff, that's it right there.
That's it.
It's me throwing a bunch of ideas that'll never happen. Sponsored to you by Pandora Jewelry.
Me just going.
And that makes me so sad because when she does that, I'm just like, it'll never happen. I'm all alone. I'm all alone.
Fungi Gamer. Scare Zone fan map. Too late.
I knew you weren't going to forget. I was hoping so. Yeah, it's a little too late.
Next week.
Okay.
Promise.
Next week we'll do a
Yeah.
a fan
Elizabeth.
map. We'll do it.
She's right. He goes, no.
No.
We can't leave these people here like this. We can't. No.
Stephanie's remembering.
Yeah, I remember.
There you go. So, Yeah, also, like we were talking about it, we're gonna have a members only exclusive Halloween party next year. I think before HHN starts and after HHN, where it's just like a members only live stream. I'm gonna figure out how to do that. I don't know how to do that. It might be where it's public for everyone to see, but comment wise, it's just our members or something.
Yeah.
Or whatever, but we're planning to do some type of HHN party. I was even thinking about looking for a venue to rent out here in Orlando and like invite our members out to this venue and like do like a Halloween party. Like that, if you guys are down for something like that, let us know. Which I know I'm saying that, and I'm pretty sure all of you guys will be like, yeah, Halloween. Because I mean, why not, right? Who wouldn't be? But I was thinking of maybe getting like a members only like actual Halloween party going. If we can get to a point where this channel, look, I have big ideas. I want life to be a party, guys. If we can get this channel to a point where this is what we can just do for the rest of our lives, and well, not for the rest of our lives. Can you imagine us 85 years old? Halloween Horror Nights 2000.
Do that math.
71.
Rent out Holy Land. We have a Halloween party at Holy Land.
Just like baptize everybody. Is it?
I heard that closed.
Yeah, I think that did close.
But Vanessa wants to know our top 10 haunted houses for HHN 31.
Top 10 haunted houses. Okay, all right.
We gotta do our list.
We'll get back into talking about a Halloween party down the road. Okay, so our list. Starting at number 10. Stephanie, what is your number 10 house? And I think we agree on this one.
Coven.
Dead Man. Oh, really?
Dead Man's.
Dead Man's Pier. Mine. I'm kidding. Yeah, I think my least one was Spirits of the Coven. Beautiful house. It just missed. It just missed. That's it. It was literally like free throw, air ball, boom.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Number 9.
This is hard. It's between Hellblock and Blumhouse.
Really? Interesting.
What about you?
Surprisingly, Fiesta de Chupacabras is my number 9.
Yeah, actually, I forgot about that one completely.
Opening weekend, loved Fiesta. And the more I went through, realized I didn't like Fiesta. There are some parts of Fiesta that is really beautiful. There really is. But it just fell off for me. I don't know why. I'm really bummed about it.
Yeah.
I don't even want. No, I won't say 9.
No.
I'll say Fiesta is 8 for me. It really bums me.
What's
no,
9 then?
jeez. Now that I'm thinking about it in detail, I'm gonna say Hellblock is 9. One specific reason for Hellblock being 9 is because of the hallway where they had the hive vampires and stuff. It was just a black hallway. That does not flow with me at all.
No.
So Hellblock, unfortunately, number 9. But I did like Hellblock. At the end of this run, I actually realized like I would love to go through Hellblock again.
Yeah.
Kid you not. I would say 8. What was 9 for you?
Hellblock.
Hellblock 8. 8. Number 8.
I would say, I don't know, probably Blumhouse and then Fiesta. Because I thought Fiesta was pretty, at least. I don't think that Blumhouse was really pretty. I think there were some good scares, but I don't know. See?
Blumhouse is number 8 for me. Like, okay, number 10 is Spirits, right? Like, we really haven't discussed our top 10 houses, so sorry
This is like on the spot.
Yeah, we're kind of all over. But this is when we plan to do like our most anticipated houses and stuff, this is how it starts. We do this, we go over it for a couple, days, and then we finally get the video out. And most of the time, we just have to come on a compromise just to get the video done, because if not, there are usually like 3 houses that Steph and I have that are sometimes just in different areas. But I say number 10 is Spirits. And then number 8 or number 9, 8, and 7 are like, they're like there. Really, to me, they're kind of like the same.
Like a tie.
They're a tie. I would say you got Spirits, then you get into number 9, which will be like Hellblock and Blumhouse. They're kind of the same to me, 9 and 8, because there are parts in Hellblock. I enjoyed Hellblock more than I did Blumhouse. But like Blumhouse had some good scarier aspects and stuff, but there wasn't a lot of detail because the houses were split, and like with Black Phone, you can't really do too much. And then I felt like Hellblock had a lot more ability to show more detail and yada yada, right? So like Hellblock and Blumhouse to me were flip-flop. Then I would say Fiesta would be 7th. Above that, but it just like dropped off for me a lot throughout the event. But there were moments in Fiesta that were just on a scale beautiful. You know, seeing the town,
the body that gets dragged by the
the chupacabra itself too. So I feel like that would be my 7th through 10th little listing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I agree.
Okay, number 6.
Bugs. No, Weekend.
I agree. Weekend was number 6 for me.
Yeah.
It was cool idea, liked it. Didn't really care to go through it too many times.
That one was so hit or miss. So hit or miss.
I think that was the most out of all the houses as a hit or miss type of house.
And towards the end of the run, I feel like that was the house the most where you could tell that the characters were like done.
Yeah, that one, like going through it like maybe 2-3 times, cool. But a lot of times we went in, it just felt like there was no scare actors in the house. So I'd say number 6 for that one. Number 5, Bugs. I feel like Bugs was 5th place house. Just like it was a good house, but there were 4 that were clearly better in our opinion.
Yeah, I didn't think Bugs was scary, unfortunately, because that was like the one that I was most nervous to go in, and then after we went through, I didn't really get scared at all. Also,
just putting this out there, if you guys want to, I know Jared just did his. I'm sure some people did earlier in the chat too, but if you guys want to put your top, let's just say top 3 houses of the event, put your top 3 houses down too. We want to go through and see what you guys think.
Okay,
but
so that was 5.
5 was Bugs. 4, I would say Descendants of Destruction was 4 for me, but now being in the top 4, I felt like 4, 3, and 2 were very close.
Yes.
Or 4, 3, and 2, they're very close. Like it just depends if it's a full cast or not, which will jump them around every now and then. I would say Descendants was 4 for me. Halloween was 3. Dead Man's was 2. And then, I mean, Legends Collides are number 1. Now, the reason why Dead Man's was number 2 is obviously it's beautiful, but the last run through we had last night of it was probably the best run through I've had of that house. Every like boo hole was filled, except for 1. I remember 1 not being. That was the first time in a long time that Dead Man's had every boo hole filled. The actors also had more aggression than I've seen in a long time in that house. So I feel like that house picked it back up for me to be like, man, if they could have done this throughout the whole year and maybe just turned it up a little bit more, that would have really been battling Legends for number 1. That's why I give it number 2, because I felt like that was the one that could have competed with Legends. Halloween being number 3 was still very beautiful. There were some parts that I really liked and stuff, but it was also one of those too that there on some nights it was a hit or miss that we've noticed. And there were just some things that didn't make sense. And we won't get into why, but I feel like that was just like, that was a solid number 3 house for us. The one thing that really sucked about that house was the wait for it. Like, always had the longest wait. Yeah, for Halloween. Yeah. And then Descendants being number 4, like I said, 4, 3, 2, very close. Descendants was awesome. I loved it. It was a house that we went through an opening weekend that I didn't really care for too much, but the more that you did Descendants, the more that you, I think, loved that house. Yeah. Because that one constantly had good scares in it, good aggression from the scare actors and stuff. They showed their roles and their characters very well. There's just some parts about it, like that ending scene, I'm not a fan of at all. Every time we went through, I did not care to go through that scene where everything was the black lid and stuff. I feel like it could have been done a lot better. And that's the reason why I brought it down to 4. But like I said, 4, 3, and 2 are very close. It just depends on if the cast is full or if there's a lot of boo holes that are not filled. Yeah. And that will swap. And that's what they did. They would rotate throughout the event.
So I think it also depends because our viewpoint on it is going to be different than somebody who is just going for like one night or one weekend, because we also rank it based on like what you consider for movies like rewatchability, basically like the ability to go through it multiple times and still enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where Dead Man's kind of fell off, is like the first time you go through it, it's like, oh my god, this is amazing. Each time you go through it, it gets a little less amazing, and because the scares weren't really there, there's not a lot of going through it multiple times isn't as fun. Whereas like if there were like, if there was a 90-minute wait for Legends Dead Man's, and Halloween, the way that I would rank it is like, I would want to go through Legends the most, and then Halloween, and then probably Dead Man's. Because I know we're going to go through Dead Man's, and like, I'm going to be like, cool. Like, it's not like super, there wasn't like a bunch of energy. Like, it's pretty, but I've already seen it. You know what I mean?
No, I agree with you.
So that's how I feel about it. I would put Dead Man's as 3, Halloween 2.
Okay.
Maybe even Descendants above Dead Man's, honestly.
I think you enjoyed Descendants more than Dead Man's.
I did. I think I did too.
I think Dead Man was 4 for you.
Yeah.
And I would even say Descendants is probably number 2 for you. I feel, because we didn't really do Halloween as much.
No, because the line was always
it was just always long. We had Express Pass, but we would go do other things, and we were taking videos and photos every single night pretty much that we went. So like when we got to do Halloween, it was kind of like a treat, and we've enjoyed it. But I feel like we almost tried to do Descendants anytime we went there, and it was great. So I feel like you enjoyed Descendants more.
Yeah, I agree. Someone asked why we didn't like the blacklight scene, and I think that we also, like, now that I'm thinking about it, I think we also have a different viewpoint on rooms like that as well, because we see it with all the lights on. Like, because we've been through the houses so many times with like all the lights on and everything, like even just going through like a house brand new, like you can kind of see like what it looks like and like the effort that was put into it, and like just having like paint on the walls, we're like, nah.
What really killed it for me, right, with that section of the house, was that the scare actors, their costume literally was just like a one-piece suit that they just had black, not black paint, but
like black light paint.
Yeah, black lighting paint that was on it, and that was it. Like that's it. And like I said, the heart of HHN and the houses are the scare actors. So when I see that costume, and I could just see like it's really nothing in a sense, when earlier in the house, like those mutated humans, they had like full piece like prosthetics and stuff. Like I felt like it should have been more of that. It costs more, it's harder to do, but if you remember with Twisted Traditions, you know, you had those big pumpkins with the lighting inside them. You had in Dead Man's Pier, you also had the oh my gosh, the diver bell guy, right? With the lighting inside him too. I wasn't crazy about the blacklit paint, but it's just show it more. But just the lighting inside and being used in the costume, if they can find more ways to do that, where in my opinion, those characters, their costumes should have been laid out where they looked kind of like seeds of destruction, like very overgrown, but like seeds of destruction.
Mixed them together.
Yeah, right. I mean, they're technically hand in hand. But I feel like Seeds of Extinction, you know how they were just like overgrown in a sense? I feel like these mutated humans should have been where they had all these big prosthetic pieces. I'm talking like this bulging pieces that were like glowing and illuminating, and they were just like really just like creature-like. I didn't want to look at them, and they looked, you know, thin with just, you can tell they had a one-piece suit on that had black paint on it, just so that they could show in the strobe and the black lighting. I don't like that. To me, it feels cheap. It feels like they went with the quicker and easier route. The layout too of that one room was really nothing much but just like stalagmites and stalactites and stuff like that they had, and it was just like, it seemed very just simple. I felt like it also was a little too open, you know. I feel like they could have really like closed it up and made it feel like they were more on top of you, like that last corner. And even the like the bioluminescent like fungi and stuff, I felt like they were also just blacklit paint versus actual glowing lights.
Yeah, even if they made it like, I could even see them going the route, not even doing like the glowing or anything like that. I could see them going the route with like House of a Thousand Corpses, the area that was like, you're like in the like,
I know exactly
like
what you're talking
the
about.
Catacombs basically, or like underground, like that, where you're basically just underground, and then the people have turned into like these like creatures, but they're not like glow in the dark.
Yeah, I think it really they needed to have that one room that was open. I feel like because there wasn't any detail in that room and it was too open, and then the costume pieces, it just felt and the scare actors really just didn't get close to you, so it kind of just was like a walkthrough. That really should have been a tight corridor where they were on top of you, where they were really signifying like, oh, you don't make it out of this house because these, you know, creatures get you in a sense. And I didn't feel that, like I said, until that last corner, like that one last corner is leaving. They had those two right there. That was good. But that one big open room, it's like I felt like if they were going to have it that big and open, there should have been a lot more detail in that room to sell that point.
I did like the, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, the music. Like the music, how it like sounds like
in Descendants, tribal kind of sense.
Yeah, well, towards the end when you get in that last room, it like picks up and it sounds like trains, and like that was cool. But
yeah, I feel like I've been talking. I mean, an hour and 56 minutes. You said you could do 2 hours.
I can't.
We're at 3 minutes until we're there.
Okay, well, we need to end it.
Sorry, guys. We gotta go.
We gotta go.
But how about this, guys? We're gonna be coming to an end. I want to appreciate.
We're coming to an end.
Everybody's right. Anyways, I want to appreciate all of you guys for joining us here to talk HHN 31. I want to make sure we didn't miss anything in the chat, but thank you for joining us. Thanks for being out here. Coming up to the longest live stream I believe we've had.
Yes.
If not, correct me on it. We'll plan another one.
I don't know that the one that we did with the spec maps was pretty long.
It was, but I think it was like an hour and 40 plus minutes or so. But if not, this could be the longest one we've had. So we talked a lot of things. We talked a bit about HHN 32. We talked about some things we would love to see and we'd love to do. We'd love for HHN to, you know, contact us because we'd love to get involved and do something. I have some big plans that I think would be really cool. I got specific icons. And anyways, I'm not going to get into too much detail for you guys, but coming to an end here in the live stream, I want to thank all of you guys for joining us. We want to thank, you know, Universal and HHN for putting on Halloween Horror Nights 31. Had a great time, enjoyed it. We're ready for next year. In next week, next week Tuesday, we'll do another live stream, 8:30. We'll be right back here and stuff to talk more HHN 31. We'll talk more about the houses and details we didn't get to as well. And then we'll talk more about speculations and stuff for next year and just continue some HHN talk throughout November. Because like I said, Halloween's not just a day, it's a state of mind. So huge thank you to all of our members for the continuous support. You guys have been fantastic. Thank you to all of our viewers and everybody that's been here to join us to give us a pretty good Halloween year. Like, we've enjoyed it. It's been fun. We always hate when this time comes around because we look at it not that HHN's ending, but for us creating HHN content's kind of coming to a close until next year. And it bums us out because we love creating content for you guys. We really do. It's what we enjoy about the event more than anything is when we go and we get to meet you guys and we get to talk about creating content that we think you guys would enjoy. Just keeping HHN alive year round. That's what we try to do. So as Stephanie gives me the eye saying, hey, Brian, I know you're trying to stall to get to 2 hours exactly. We're going to wrap it up. Thank you so much, guys, for all the continuous support. Next week, Tuesday, 8:30 p.m., we'll do another live stream and we'll get more into details and all. So I guess as the famous words are, and until the next video, we can't wait to see you guys there. And like always, we'll catch you guys in the fog.
Aww.
Peace out, everybody.
Bye.
Now I just got really emotional. Sad. Crying.
We'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week, guys. Maybe even sooner. We'll see. Peace out, everybody.
Brian.
We got 1 minute until we're at 2 hours. 1 more minute. 1 more minute.
Hondo.
Hondo, come up here quick.
Come here.
Come say bye to everybody.
Come say bye.
Come here.
Come here.
Quick. The last minute. Up here.
Come here.
Up here. Come on, jump. Come here.
Jump up.
Jump. Come on, buddy. Yay. Say hi to everyone. Say bye right here. Say thank you for all the tweets, guys. You guys have been fantastic. I love you all. I'm happy Halloween's over. Screw this holiday because mommy and daddy leave me all the time. And I'm ready for Christmas because it's going to give me lots of toys. And my birthday is coming up November 27th. So send me lots of birthday love.
Yes.
Alrighty, guys.
He's liking that.
There we go. We're out of here, guys. Have a good time. Stall for the time. 3 seconds. 2,
9.
1. Oh, the camera died. On 2 hours. The camera's dead. That's it. We're done. Good night, guys.